Yu-Gi-Oh is one of the most difficult trading card games to get into, unless you know where to begin. Starting from absolutely nothing and a budget of £40 per week, we set out on a fresh journey to climb our way to the top tables of competitive play. To make the journey even harder, there's going to be a series of obstacles in our way. Not only are we restricted to sealed official product, but certain items like structure decks and Dual Devastator are off limits and locked behind a number of challenges. Join us as we prove ourselves to be a true duelist and turn this into a competitive monster. You're watching Yu-Gi-Oh! From Scratch, Challenge Mode. Welcome to what could possibly be the final episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! From Scratch Challenge Mode, number 27. Last time we had probably one of the greatest and longest episodes out of both seasons so far, where the pools were unbelievable and the gameplay was incredible, topping 2 competitive events and even winning one of them 5-0. Today we have the opportunity to potentially top that and take part in the Remote Duel YCS. Initially, the end goal for the season was to just top a regional, so it's kind of hard to figure out what the equivalent would be in terms of a YCS. I guess any form of additional prizing would make sense, and if you make it to day 2, you win an exclusive field center. So that's going to be the goal for today. If we can make it to day 2, I'd say we can probably successfully conclude the series. But before we give ourselves an existential crisis, let's take a moment to appreciate those who have made this possible. Every single person that's ever made a contribution through Patreon and YouTube channel memberships, thank you so much. You've literally made the journey happen not once, but twice now, with the most recent simps being Eugene Skladani, Baktash Azizi, Blood Arashi, Robert Snyder, and Tyler Hatcher. Whether we fail today and continue the grind, or succeed and move on to the next big project, your support is very much appreciated, and the Melffys be eating good. If you watching also want to drop a penny or two in the well, links are in the description. So today is our very last opening to prepare for the YCS, and our budget is £42. After finally completing the locals challenge, we've earned ourselves a Dual Devastator to buy at the very least, so that's something. But if we could pull some juice on top of that, we'll be in a very good position. With today potentially being the finale, we're not aiming to complete any challenges, we're just going straight for the Grand Slam. If we fail, we'll reorganize the challenge structure in the next episode, but I don't plan on failing. Our luck the last few episodes has been stupidly insane, and it's all thanks to you guys hammering the shit out of the luck points. So if you want to give us that one last big hurrah for the YCS, slam it, baby. Here we go, the final opening before the YCS. This is all we have left to prepare for the over 1,000 man tournament coming our way here. There was a lot of options that we could have went for today. It would have been really nice to have a full Gamma package, which would mean just going straight into Toon Chaos today, but that would be like, what, probably like 13 or 14 packs in total, and I'm not 100% confident that you would get a full Gamma package out of there. But we also want to focus on consistency, so I was considering going for, you know, another Rescue Cat, maybe trying to get another Tenki, another Ecclesia, or Nadir Servant. But that's leaving it to the cold, hard luck of the draw, you know? It was a really tough decision, but I have decided to go down the safe route and start with a box of Dual Devastator. We've been trying to get this thing for so long, trying to top locals, and then all of a sudden just topping 2 events in the same day. Like, my god, last episode was insane. So this is the box of champions. Hopefully it does us proud. Kind of gives us consistency in our sideboard and our interruptions for the current format. We did have a budget of £42 to spend, and that £2 change was just enough to get us over the edge and sneak in 2 more boxes of Damaged Italian Duelist Saga. So hopefully we get 1 Rescue Cat at least. 2 Rescue Cats would possibly be nice, and Imperial Order is actually in this set as well. That would be kind of nice to shove into the side deck, otherwise, you know, it's just going to be double anti-spell. So let's crack them open. Let's crack them open. I think when it comes to our tech options, it's going to be very, very difficult to decide on the final lineup. This box will give us our second Ash, our second Veiler, our third Ghost Belle actually, third Lancia. Here we got our field centers. I forgot we even get field centers for this. Alright, what do we have? Ishizu and
Yep, eyeball. Ghost Belle. Very good this format. Joey with the red eyes and Ash Blossom. There we go. That's 2 of the cards we actually opened this box for, so that's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. And of course, our little brick here of cardboards. So just skimming through these, we don't really need Ghost Ogre. I'll put all the cards we were considering to the side. So Ash Blossom is big. Ghost Belle is big. Obviously not Ghost Sister, not Red Blossoms. None of these Synchros. Our extra deck's pretty much set right now. We pretty much have everything we need when it comes to the extra deck. DD Crow, that's our second DD Crow, but man, we have to decide between some of these cards. Another Effect Veiler is good. Gate Blocker, Danko, Inspector, Canceller, Lancia, Fiend. We already have Pankratops. Gamma Seal is really good this format. Mind Control, Nab, Apollosa, maybe. Super Poly, Cyclone is really good. We got DDG, which is also really good. And Anti-Spell and Solemn Strike. So, yeah, this is why the Dual Devastator was a very good option, because we get to like double up on a lot of the cards we have very little of, which improves the consistency of our interruptions and allows us to sideboard like a lot more efficiently. So we have to decide on a lineup here. But yeah, Dual Devastator, Box of Champions, we earned it. We absolutely earned it. And now, it comes down to the cold cards, luck of the draw. We have 6 packs of Duelist Saga. Italiano. Can we get a Rescue Cat? Oh, Luke, we got double Neos, double Yugi, double Cyber Dragon. Okay, please. This is for the YCS. The goal of the series is to just top a regional. So, like, if we do really well in the YCS, this could be the final episodes. So we're gonna need the luck points, baby. Hammer that button, please. And give us the Gatto da Soccorso. And Imperial Order. Remember that. I wonder what Imperial Order is in Italian. Alright, we got the Silent Angler, Crystal Zero, Velo Bianco, BLS, like number 6. Jesus, we have so many. And Magician of Faith. First pack is a dud. Oh man, I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. Oh, come on. Alright. Next up, we got another Shark. We got Polvere di Diamante, Anime Contrastanti, oh, Black Rose Dragon, and Jinzo. Really cool nostalgic cards, but, you know, not what we're looking for. Okay. We're going to be 1 box down after this pack. Starting off, we have another anime card. 5-Finger Death Punch. I see you. Gozuki. Diabound Colonel. That's the same as its English name, isn't it? I think. Royal Decree and another Jinzo. Dude, 2 in a row. We're doubling up. Oh my god. Please. Please, I just want to see a Rescue Cat. Yo, Harpy's Featherstorm. Kinda broken. Normal Summon Nervall. Set Harpy's Featherstorm. Let's go. Vion Iro Vision. Number 28. Moth. No, Doom Caliber Knight and Effect Veiler. Ooh, number 3. Maybe cool. Ooh, okay, that's something worth considering actually. Dissimulatore di Effetto. Damn, what a mouthful, dude. Alright, so Effect Veiler, maybe. That is a maybe. Gives us a playset of Veiler. Okay, please. Pinguino Guardia. Yo, penguins, let's go. Paradiso Perduto. We got a Trap. It's not Imperial Order. Come on, man. Where's the Gatto da Soccorso? Oh my god, are you serious? Are you serious? It comes down to this. It comes down to the Cyber Dragon pack. Please. Please, baby. We have had a lot of luck recently. Maybe it's dying out. Alright. Stella Celestiale. Diamenta. Yeah, whatever. Cosmica, sure. Was that Blue Eyes or Stardust? Yeah, very cool. Oh no. Scudo alla Leggera. It's another spell, dudes. Advanced Ritual Art. Is it a monster? It is a monster. Please. Please, I swear. Oh my god, I'm begging. I'm actually begging. Here we go. Here we go. It is Dandelion. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Well, we might be in trouble. We might be in trouble. We're gonna have to rely on this Dual Devastator.
Well, we're going into the YCS with a singular rescue cat, which is a little unfortunate, but we are loaded up on staples. Now it's a case of building our deck in a way that gives us the best possible chance against the meta. So let the research begin. Alright, I've thrown a bunch of different cards around here. Some changes I'm a little conflicted on, but we have our potential final list. I might test it out at physical locals before the YCS, so we'll see how that goes, but getting into it, starting off with our Melffy package here, of course we have our triple Obedient Schooled and 1 copy of Gatto da Soccorso. Ideally I would like 5 between these two, but beggars can't be choosers. And of course we have our 2 Puppy, 2 Hedgehog, and 2 Catty, along with Hop Ear Squadron and Alpha to search off the Catty. I was considering siding the Alpha because it's just another card you don't really want to see going first, but when you need it, it comes up quite a lot, and yeah, I decided to keep it in, so the ratios here I feel are correct. Moving on to our Tri-Brigade package, we of course only have 2 copies of Tenki, a third would be really nice to go alongside our 2 copies of Fraktall, and then we have Kitt, which can be accessed through, you know, Rescue Cat and Obedient Schooled. Then we have Nervall to search, a Tri-Brigade monster, Kerass being one of those options, and then of course we have our Whiptail to search off the Tenki as well. Basically normal summon Zeus. Actually, oh my god, I can't believe we pulled it, dude. It's so insane. Moving on to the package that started it all, the Dogmatika package, we have our 2 copies of Nadir and 2 copies of Ecclesia, so essentially 4 in total, alongside 1 Fleurdelis and 1 Dogmatika punishment for our search targets. Of course, that third Nadir or Ecclesia would be really nice for us, but we just don't have it. For the generics, we finally have that second copy of Ash Blossom, so 2 in the main deck here alongside 2 Belle, because she's just really good against most meta decks this format. We tripled up on the Veiler and put an Imperm in there as well, because Veiler's not once per turn and it's really good this format as well. Also, Imperm doesn't trigger triple tactics. And speaking of triple tactics, we of course have our 2 copies and Called by the Grave. We'll probably change these for Gammas in the future when we pull them, but rounding off the deck, we have our trap lineup for going first, and that is 2 Solemn Strike and 1 Solemn Warning. So we have cut down our trap lineup. This is one of the changes I was really conflicted with. We have taken out Ice Dragon's Prison completely. It's not even in the side deck, and that feels so bad because it's such a good card, but the pack and MST video basically convinced me that it's not as good against the meta right now, so that's why we took it out. But yeah, it feels really, really weird to get rid of. So still rocking the 40 card main deck overall. It's not quite complete, but I mean, close enough, right? We're basically there. We're just missing a Rescue Cat, another Ecclesia, Nadir, another Tenki, so just consistency cards. For the side, we've got double Gamma Steel, which is really nice. Allows us to out Arrival and Herald of Ultimateness and things like that really easily. And then we also have Pankratops and Dark Ruler as generic going second cards. Double Phantasme along with Droll and Nibiru are just sort of matchup specific hand traps. Like Phantasme is good against Strikers and Salamangreat and stuff. Nibiru against Salad as well. Droll against Drytron. Our back row removal, 1 Duster and double Cyclone. And then some more techie stuff. We have double DDG, which is really good against things like Tri-Brigade and Drytron. And then we have Anti-Spell as well, which is good against a lot of decks, to be honest. So there is still room for improvement in our side deck, but it feels so good being able to have multiples on a lot of these cards here. It feels a lot less scuffed and allows us to see our blowout cards a lot more often. Still no changes being made to the extra deck here, so this will sort of prove to be the ultimate test and see if we do need to make any changes, but we of course have the Titanic Lad and the Ned Beats for the Dogmatika plays, Melffy of the Forest and Joyous Melffys for our Melffy plays. For the rest of the Xyz, we of course have our Borbo, Vespinato still, and Zeus in there for the Whiptail plays. All of our Link monsters are basically for Tri-Brigade plays, even the 1 copy of Almirage in case we open Nervall or Kitt. We also have the Ferrigite here along with our 2 interruptions, the double Dragon Lords and the Shureg. The 4 remaining slots are of course for our synchros with the Hop Ear Squadron and whatnot, so we have the Herald to sync with Kalantosa if we need to. Otherwise we can do our combo and go for Desert Locust into Savage or Omega. So I think this is our final list. My only worry is the fact that we're not maxed out on some of our ratios. So when it comes to a tournament like a YCS, the more rounds you're playing in, the higher the chances of you seeing an opening hand that doesn't include any of those cards that you need to see. So we're going to need a little bit of luck, but hopefully, you know, we can pull it out of the bag. We'll see. We'll see, but for now, I do want to go and take this for a test run, so I'm going to take it to a physical locals and see how we do.
A few moments later.
Just back from locals here, was good to get in that little off-camera practice and see everyone and whatnot for the first time in a long time, but yeah, 4 rounds we played against Tri-Brigade, Dark Magician, Invoked Shaddoll's, and Salamangreat. And we took home the 4-0 first place dub, so that makes us 3 for 3 when it comes to topping events. So there's no clear problems with the list so far. I think this might be the final list that we take to the YCS. Now, when it comes to competitive play, one of the best advantages you can have is knowing how your opponent's deck works. I'm pretty comfortable with about half the meta, Salamangreat, Tri-Brigade, Sky Strikers, Prank Kids, Dragon Link, etc. But when it comes to Drytron, Virtual World, and Ignister, my knowledge is pretty piss poor, to be honest. I've never played the decks, and the whole time they've been in the meta has been the whole time we've been messing around trying to get our shit together with this season. So the ideal situation would be we get lucky and avoid those matchups somehow, but yeah, obviously that's just not gonna happen. After a big cramming session trying to take it all in the night before the exam, here is what I think I've learned. How to beat these 3 decks that we are not 100% sure on. Here we go. So in conclusion, from our little cram session, we have how to beat Drytron. This is Ava. We want to negate the Alpha sometimes, otherwise you want to negate the Zeta sometimes, or, you know, negate Diviner, or negate the Mu Beta Fafnir. And then for Virtual World, you kind of want to hope they brick, otherwise you can Ash the Lulu, hopefully that's enough to stop them. And if you're going first, you kind of want to remove like their first card they put on the field to kind of stop the rest of their effects, like ideally remove their normal summon or something. Otherwise, I'm not 100% sure what you hit. Maybe you could also, I guess, hit like the big Tzolk'in thing. Yeah, sometimes you want to negate the Tzolk'in, and that'll stop Crystal Wing being on the field, and then you just sort of have to deal with Chuche, I guess. I don't know, I don't really know the deck, but from what I've heard or read or seen so far, that's what I believe is the case. And then for Ignister, you want to negate the Link 1 or the Link 3, or you can just somehow out the Arrival Link 6 by, like, I don't know, tributing over it with a Kaiju. But yeah, that's about as far as my knowledge goes after like one night of studying these decks. I could be missing a lot, and I'll probably get caught up in the moment, so we're just gonna have to hope that we see as little of those decks as possible. But with that being said, I think we're ready for one of the largest online Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments ever. Wish me luck. Here we go, 1,796 players in total, probably the largest official online tournament in Yu-Gi-Oh history, partly because the participation prizes are so worth it. Like seriously, you got a playmat, 5 packs, promo card, field center, all for just 25 euros, which is so nice. Now, you weren't actually allowed to film or stream your matches, so I'm just gonna have to describe it to you, and I'll try my best to make this glorified tournament report actually watchable. Being hosted on Discord, of course, having 1,800 cameras in a single server would cause the internet to fold in on itself and implode, so we were split up into like 8 different servers. Your boy here representing server 3, gang, let's go. The issue I usually have with big tournaments like this is that they start so early, dude, and I'm just not an early bird. I think I've missed the first round and dropped from like 2 or 3 remote duel events so far, and today's first 2 rounds were pleasant. Good thing we won a VIP event, right? So going into round 3 with a 2-0 record, we're essentially forced to the top end of the tables, and therefore are more likely to be playing meta, which I guess makes things slightly easier depending on what way you look at it. Unfortunately, we get dished up the opposite of what we actually want, because we're paired against Drytron at table 26. Literally not had a warm-up match or anything, and this is what we get thrown into first match of the day. Come on, dude. But yeah, winning the die roll is a start, and we get to go first, but we don't really have any big plays. Our first action is Nadir Servant, dumping Titaniclad to search Ecclesia, but her effect on normal summon gets met with an orange light, discarding Lancia. Shit. Activating triple tactics. Since we're already locked out of the extra deck from Nadir, I think it's better to rip from our opponent's hand rather than draw 2, since they're only on 3 cards at this point, and Drytron kinda needs like a few cards to combo off. And we see Diviner, Zeta, and Meteonis, the ritual spell. So the obvious choice here is to shuffle back the Diviner, because Zeta plus the ritual spell isn't achieving anything whatsoever. You can't even play anything. Setting 1 back row and grabbing another Ecclesia off Titaniclad in the end phase, we pass turn. My man's top deck's Nova, which is very good. Summoning Alpha from deck and linking into Linkuriboh allows him to activate its effect in grave, tributing the Zeta from hand, but that's a perfect choke point for a Solemn Strike. Taking a tickle on the chin from Linkuriboh, it's over to us. Normal summon Whiptail gets us to Vesminato, and then Ecclesia fetches Fleur from deck to negate a potential Diviner top deck. Catty in the end phase can either interrupt with Locusts or get us to our engine, so our opponent draws and scoops. Game 2, we don't see any side cards, so our opponent's free to get to the Herald of Ultimateness, and we don't draw Dark Ruler or Gamma Seal, unfortunately, so we play into 5 negates. Game 3. Going first, we normal summon Nervall, which is never a great start. Linking into the Almirage, we search for Kerass and summon it by discarding a Fraktall, but we get hit with a Lancia. Sag. Set 1 with Puppy in the end phase, and it's past turn. Thankfully, we can flip DDG in the standby, so we are safe for a turn. Our opponent Nova's out a Delta, which we pop with Puppy into Kalantosa, and it's back over to us. I think they were just trying to kill the Kerass. But yeah, setting up Joyous, double Dragon Lords, Vestmanato, and Puppy, our opponent proceeds to scoop again. Unfortunately, they bricked, but hell yeah, dude, we take those. 3-0. Moving on up to table 4. Fuck these matchups, man. Virtual World! What's next? Ignister? Jeez. Losing the die roll this time, we see 0 interruptions and stare down a Crystal Wing and set Chuche. Not the toughest board to crack, but Chuche is kind of annoying, not gonna lie. Starting with Obedient Schooled and Nadir Servant, we get to Joyous and force the Crystal Wing with our Ned Beats. And then proceed to misplay by activating Triple Tactics to steal the Crystal Wing, which makes absolutely no sense. I don't know what I was smoking. But normal summoning Ecclesia to search punishment, we go battle phase. Joyous, of course, gets popped by Chuche, which does trigger Kitt, so we have a long-ass grind game on the go that we do eventually lose after like 20 minutes. Game 2, neither of us open really well, but our opponent struggles to find any monsters even after Desires. After getting in a punch with Puppy and Ecclesia, time gets called, giving us our first draw of the day. It's better than a loss, so it's fine. Round 5, down to table 8. We were paired against Vlad, which is super scary because Vlad's playing Pendulum, which I don't really know, and I'm playing Melffy, which Vlad does know really well. But thankfully, there was a repair. Hell yeah. So we're now up against Zoodiac Tri-Brigade, something I'm a bit more familiar with, and we lose the die roll. Our opponent's kitted out with like a team shirt and playmat card market sponsorship, the whole shebang, so a little bit intimidating, not gonna lie, I'm just sat here with like nothing. This hand was so fucking funny though, dude. We ashed the Fraktall, but then we get hit with Gamma, which is a really stinky start for us. However, on the Kitt effect, banishing 2 for cost, we drop Veiler. Then on the Kerass effect, banishing 2 more for cost, we drop a second Veiler. I kinda expected Bearbrum into Apollosa here, but they just make a 4 material Apollosa instead, and pass turn. No shit, dude, we top deck Imperm. Oh my god, we're insane! Last 2 cards being a Fraktall and Punishment, it's easy clap. Game 2, our opponent goes first again and sets up Rugal with Revolt and 2 more back row. We start by normal summoning Whiptail, and our opponent just like immediately shotguns a Lancia. Okay, it's not really gonna do anything. Make Borbo. Okay, battle phase, attack directly. On attack declaration, activate Revolt. Summon 4, link in a Shureg, chainlink 1 Shureg, chainlink 2 Nervall, chainlink 3 Kitt. My dude, you activated Lancia. You cannot banish. He was so mad, dude. He was so mad. Okay, main phase 2. Make Zeus. Activate Zeus effect. GG. I feel so bad, dude. Holy shit. So we're going into round 6 with a flawless record, 4-0-1. Back up to table 4, and we're paired with Sky Strikers. Good Sky Striker players are kind of hard to deal with, but I don't mind grinding out games and playing conservatively. But that's why we get taken out back by the Wendy's dumpster for a dirty surprise. My guy is playing Dragoon. What? Access code talker we can deal with thanks to punishment and whatnot, but Dragoon fucked us in the ear hole 2 games in a row. Our first loss, goddammit. Second last round of the day, we're at table 14 with a friend from Remote Duel Locals. We beat him last time we played, so I'm looking forward to this Prank Kids matchup. We win the die roll, so all we need to do is hit the normal summon and it's easy game. Obedient Schooled gets us to Joyous and we set up double Solemn Strike. We absolutely win this. Draw phase, Twin Twisters. Fuck. Okay, that's sad, but still, Joyous should be enough. Attempting to pop the normal summon with Kalantosa. Boom, Pandemonium. They have everything! So, we get outgrinded. Game 2 going first again. This time we have Joyous in different dimension ground. It takes a couple turns to get the kill, but he just can't get his engine going, which brings us to game 3. With not much time on the clock, it's looking pretty grim for a Prank Kids matchup. Going second, we have the Nibiru to stop any Battle Butler plays. I think I drop it a little too late though, as he's still able to get Pandemonium back to the hand, but there's not too many threats that can stop us. The only issue is our hand is garbage, dude. Kalantosa, Puppy, Ash, Triple Tactics, and top deck Obedience, which is now dead thanks to Nibiru being on the field. We can't get in any worthwhile damage and lose to time. So unlucky, dude. So damn unlucky. So we now have 13 points, and in order to get to day 2 and successfully complete the series, we need to win our final match. Down all the way to table 28, we're matched up with Ignister. It was only a matter of time. Our opponent's a little bit sussy, allowing only official dice, not allowing us to remove our hands from the camera, shuffling excessively. Nothing that you can actually fault to be honest, is just kind of annoying. On top of that, they play kind of slow in general. Not a completely unreasonable pace, but you just know it's going to be a kind of awkward game. Losing the dice roll, we're going second and see no interruptions. After 10 minutes, our opponent finally passes turn on an arrival, Lingaribo, and 1 back row. But with no immediate out to the Link 6, I scoop without playing any cards because I realize it's just not worth the time, even if we can grind an out to it. So going into game 2, we're going first, and we're met with no interruptions this time, and a decent-ish hand. Normal summoning Nervall and going into Almirage fetches us Kerass, who discards Kitt for cost and brings out double Dragon Lords. Sprinkle in a Nadir Servant and Puppy means we're ending on 4 interruptions. Puppy, Punishment, Fleurdelis, and double Dragon Lords. Having to read most of our cards multiple times to the opponent is really slowing things down, but they fire off Harpy's Feather Duster, killing our Punishment, and then they summon Pankratops and activate Droplets, discarding Island. All which is fine. They activate the Pank, target and double Dragon Lord, which just gets protected by Almirage in response. And their final 2 cards were Picari and I Meet You. Negating Picari with Fleur, they get the field spell off the Link 1 and search for a Chi-Chi with I Meet You. Then linking into Cyber's Wicked, they actually lie to me. Reading out the effect, they said it can't be targeted by card effects, which just isn't true. I would have bounced it here and been on my way, but instead we have to grind through another frustrating 15 minutes of awkward gameplay to finally get the win. They also tried activating I Meet You twice in a turn, but I caught that one, thankfully. Going into game 3, there's a judge watching the match, and I ask how much time is left on the round. 6 minutes. Going second, we Ash the Dark Infant, but our opponent already opened the field spell, which is unfortunate. 5 long minutes into their basically uninterrupted combo, they get stuck and don't really know what to do. Judge gives a slow play warning here and 3-minute extension, which of course gets appealed, but ruled in favor by the head judge. We eventually drop Imperm on a transcode talker, which just ends our opponent's turn, and it's over to us. We just need to do damage for the win. Activate speed. Starting off with Obedient Schooled and explaining the card to our opponent, we get ashed. Normal summoning Nervall, we still have a play. We can get to double Dragon Lords, bounce the transcode, and attack for game. But our opponent asks if Obedient Schooled has any costs or restrictions, and I say yes, but it doesn't apply because it was negated by Ash. But the opponent wants the judge to confirm. Initially, they rule it as the restriction still applies, but I explain that it works the same as Extravagance, which doesn't apply after Ashed. Judge realizes this and agrees, ruling in our favor, but of course, opponent appeals again. Head judge comes in and rules that the restriction does still apply because they're 2 separate sentences, which is incorrect, but if I want to speak about it, I have to do so after the round concludes. That's their final decision. With just over a minute left on time, and me now not being able to link off Nervall, it ends in a draw. And neither of us make day 2. Dude, what a shitty ending. I do hop in a private call with the head judge after the round, and they immediately apologize, realizing they were wrong after giving the ruling. Not much else can be done about it, except crying myself to sleep that night. So I've now played in 2 YCSs in my Yu-Gi-Oh lifetime, and literally both times I've experienced someone cheating against me. It's sad, dude. This is why I can't wait for Master Duel. Kinda solves the whole ruling issue there as well, so I actually can't wait, dude. So, unfortunately, the journey continues as we search for our big event top. We were this close to saving our goddamn bank account, dude, come on. This does mean we're back to the grind. Challenges will be reworked next episode to make them a bit more fluid and stop things getting stale. But in terms of our performance today, there's a few things we could move around. Even though we summoned Vespacito multiple times, I think replacing it with Borrelsword is the actual play, purely for an additional out to the Ignister monster. We also opened Nervall way more than we should have, which is just kind of unlucky, but otherwise, considering our ratios, I think we did alright. We could have played it a little bit better ourselves, but overall, I think we're still progressing pretty nicely. Now, we just need to pick up the final few cards to complete our ratios, and we'll most likely be done here, hopefully before the tins are released, so the value of my cards doesn't just shit itself. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far. It took a while to make this. I hit a bit of a creative wall trying to edit literally just a tournament report into actual watchable content, but we're done with it now. Time to move on and turbo out content again. I think next episode we'll be opening all our OTS packs and stuff because they've just recently arrived in the mail. But yeah, drop a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you next time.
To slow down, fireplace to